I'm Dr. Liana Zhou, urologist and men's health specialist, and today we're going to talk about a subject most men avoid, but shouldn't. It's private, a bit uncomfortable, yet directly tied to your prostate, your brain, your hormones, and even your mood. Yes, we're talking about self-stimulation, and what really happens to your body when you stop doing it in later years. This isn't about pleasure or taboo. It's about physiology, circulation, and longevity. Most men think that after 60 their body simply slows down. But that's not entirely true. It's not time that weakens you, it's inactivity. See, your body runs on movement, physical, mental, and yes, sexual. Regular stimulation keeps the prostate flushed, circulation strong, and hormone balance steady. It's one of the simplest, most natural feedback systems your body has for self-repair. When you stop completely, that circuit goes quiet. Blood moves slower, tissues lose elasticity, and the tiny muscles that support your bladder and pelvic organs begin to weaken. The prostate, no longer regularly emptied, can start to swell slightly, pressing on the bladder and making nighttime trips to the bathroom more frequent. Your vessels tighten, oxygen delivery drops, and energy follows. You may even notice subtle emotional shifts, less motivation, mild irritability, or that quiet sense that your vitality has dimmed. It's not just physical, it's chemical. Your body depends on certain hormonal rhythms triggered by stimulation and release, and when those stop, so does the renewal they bring. So when I talk about self-care, I'm not talking about indulgence or guilt. I'm talking about maintenance, about keeping the systems that define your health, your circulation, your prostate, your hormones, your confidence, awake and alive. Because the truth is, your body doesn't slow down on its own. It simply mirrors the signals you give it. If you move less, it adapts to stillness. But when you stay connected to your body, your breath, your rhythm, it remembers how to flow, how to perform, and how to feel strong again. Every time a man experiences arousal or release, something remarkable happens inside the brain. A synchronized wave of neurochemicals floods your system. Dopamine rises, sharpening motivation and drive. Oxytocin increases, building connection and emotional warmth. And after release, prolactin and endorphins create that deep, calming satisfaction that tells your body, you can rest now. This isn't just a fleeting pleasure response. It's a vital regulatory mechanism. It resets your stress hormones, clears mental clutter, and helps maintain the natural rhythm between tension and release that your nervous system depends on. But when this rhythm disappears, when you go months or years without any form of healthy sexual release, the brain's chemistry begins to flatten. Dopamine pathways grow quieter, leading to reduced motivation. Oxytocin and serotonin drop, leaving you feeling disconnected and emotionally flat. Even memory and focus can suffer, because the same neurotransmitters that drive desire also fuel cognitive sharpness and curiosity. You may find yourself less inspired, less productive, or simply going through the motions. That's not age stealing your spark, it's disuse. Your brain hasn't forgotten how to feel joy, purpose, or confidence. It just needs the right signal to reawaken those circuits. Healthy sexual expression, whether shared or solo, is one of the most natural ways to keep your nervous system balanced. It lowers cortisol, your main stress hormone, which in turn improves sleep and stabilizes blood pressure. It enhances melatonin release, helping you drift into deeper rest. And most importantly, it reminds your brain that you are still alive, still capable of pleasure, curiosity, and vitality. When you restore that simple connection, even once or twice a week, your mood begins to lift. You think clearer, you sleep deeper, you wake with that subtle spark of energy that tells you your body and mind are finally back in rhythm again. Let's talk about the body itself, the part most men forget to train. Beneath your abdomen lies a powerful network of muscles known as the pelvic floor. They may be invisible, but they're responsible for some of the most vital functions in a man's body, from bladder control and core stability to healthy blood flow and strong, responsive erections. During stimulation or arousal, these muscles contract rhythmically, pumping blood into the pelvic region and strengthening the vessels that feed the prostate and reproductive organs. It's like a natural workout, one that maintains tone, coordination, and vascular flexibility. But when those muscles go unused for months or years, they begin to lose their tone. Circulation slows, oxygen delivery decreases, and the tiny capillaries that once expanded easily begin to stiffen. The result? Sluggish blood flow, lower sensitivity, weaker performance, and that quiet feeling of disconnect from your own body. It's not just about intimacy. It's about total health. A strong pelvic floor supports posture, improves balance, stabilizes the spine, and enhances circulation throughout the lower body. Neglecting it affects everything from your back and hips to your confidence when you move. Think of it like skipping leg day at the gym for a decade. Eventually, you notice. Your foreign foundation feels weaker, your stamina fades faster, and even simple movement feels heavier. But the good news? These muscles respond quickly once you re-engage them. Regular pelvic activation, whether through light exercise, gentle Kegel contractions, or natural self-stimulation, keeps this foundation alive, elastic, and richly oxygenated. Within weeks, most men notice warmer hands and feet, steadier balance, and stronger pelvic support. Proof that blood flow and vitality can always be trained back to life. Here's something most people, including many doctors, never talk about openly. Your sexual rhythm is directly tied to your body's defense system. It's not just about desire or pleasure. It's about chemistry, hormones, and immunity working together like a synchronized clock. When a man maintains regular intimate activity, even through self-stimulation, his body naturally produces higher levels of immunoglobulin A, or IgA. That's one of the key antibodies that forms your first line of protection against viruses and bacteria. It lives in your saliva, your airways, your gut, quietly guarding every surface of your body. Men who go months or years without sexual release often show lower IgA levels and higher inflammation markers in their blood. It's as if the body has lost one of its internal tuning forks, the small but vital pulse that keeps immune response balanced. At the same time, regular sexual activity supports the production of nitric oxide and endorphins, which improve circulation and calm inflammation. That means your immune cells travel faster, reach tissues more efficiently, and your recovery time from everyday stressors shortens. It's your biology's way of saying, movement and pleasure are medicine. And then there's sleep, the unsung pillar of every health system. During orgasm, your brain releases a cocktail of oxytocin, prolactin, and serotonin. Oxytocin softens the stress response, lowering blood pressure and slowing the heart rate. Prolactin, often called the completion hormone, tells your nervous system, the work is done, it's time to rest. That's why after healthy sexual release, both your brain waves and muscle tone shift naturally toward deep, slow-wave sleep, the phase when healing and hormone repair occur. Without this nightly reset, the opposite happens. The brain stays in low-level alert mode, cortisol remains elevated, and sleep becomes shallow, restless, and fragmented. You may fall asleep, but you won't restore. You'll wake up feeling heavy, foggy, and quietly unmotivated. Not because you're old, but because your body never received the signal to unwind. So yes, even your immune system and your ability to rest deeply are influenced by your sexual rhythm. It's one of nature's simplest feedback loops. Connection creates calm, calm strengthens defense, and defense sustains life. When I tell my patients this, they often laugh. But a few weeks later, they come back surprised. Doctor, I'm sleeping better. My allergies are calmer. My mornings feel easier. That's not coincidence. That's biology remembering how to function as it was designed. Because in the end, pleasure isn't a distraction from health. It's a part of it. One that keeps your body resilient, your mind relaxed, and your nights truly restorative. Many older men tell me quietly, "Doctor, I just don't feel connected to myself anymore." It's not just that their energy feels lower. It's as if they've become strangers in their own skin. That sense of distance doesn't come from weakness or age. It comes from disuse. The truth is, our connection to the body isn't purely emotional. It's deeply physiological. Your nervous system needs regular sensory feedback to stay balanced and aware. Touch, even the most modest, non-sexual kind, is how the body feels seen. It's a language older than words, a conversation between your skin and your brain that says, "I'm still here. I still matter." When that language goes silent, the body stops sending its usual signals of vitality, warmth, calm, and subtle pleasure. Over time, the brain begins to tune out the body's messages. You might feel less grounded, more anxious, more detached from your physical self. It's as if your mind and body start living separate lives, drifting apart little by little. That's why gentle, private self-care matters. It reawakens that dialogue. When you take time to reconnect through touch, relaxation, or mindful awareness of your body, you remind your nervous system that this vessel, your body, is still worth attention, still worthy of care. It's not about lust. It's not about performance. It's about presence. Self-touch, when approached with kindness, releases oxytocin, the hormone of trust and bonding. It softens tension, slows the heart rate, and reintroduces calm to your system. You start to notice subtle things again, the rhythm of your breath, the beat of your pulse, the feeling of warmth returning to your hands. These are not small details. They're proof that your mind and body are beginning to communicate again. And that communication is healing. It's the difference between simply existing and truly inhabiting your body. So don't let shame, fear, or outdated beliefs silence that connection. Gentle, private self-care is not indulgence, it's self-respect. You're not doing something wrong. You're simply reminding your body and your mind that you still belong to each other and that life still flows through you. If it's been a while, start gently, without judgment, without pressure, and without comparing yourself to who you were years ago. Your body is not broken. It's simply waiting to be reminded how to feel again. Find a quiet space where you feel completely comfortable and unhurried. This isn't about chasing excitement or performance. It's about restoring connection, warmth, and circulation. Think of it as physical meditation. The goal isn't climax, it's awareness. It's of breath, pulse, and presence. Start by reconnecting with your breath. Slow, deep, rhythmic breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and restore state, helping your vessels open and your mind settle. As you breathe, gently contract and relax your pelvic floor muscles. Imagine you're stopping the flow of urine. Hold that contraction for a few seconds, then release. These small movements are the foundation of male core strength and circulation. When you do choose to engage sexually, alone or with a partner, approach it as an act of self-care, not self-indulgence. You're stimulating nitric oxide production, encouraging oxygen flow, and training your body to keep the vascular system responsive. Even once or twice a week is enough to make a noticeable difference. Deeper sleep, sharper focus, steadier energy, and improved urinary control. The body responds best to rhythm, not intensity. Consistency is what rebuilds function over time. You can pair this routine with light stretching, gentle hip movements, or slow walking afterward to support full body circulation. If you're more comfortable with structure, schedule it like any other form of exercise. A few mindful minutes dedicated to your own health. And remember, this is not something to be embarrassed about. In every culture and medical tradition, from Ayurveda to modern urology, regular release and pelvic stimulation are seen as vital to male longevity. It keeps the prostate healthy, maintains hormonal balance, and supports emotional stability. So approach it with respect, gratitude, and patience. What you're doing isn't indulgence. It's maintenance, renewal, and a quiet reminder that your body still knows how to heal and respond when given the right care. Because vitality doesn't disappear with age. It just waits for attention, consistency, and kindness. Gentlemen, your body hasn't forgotten a thing. It still remembers every rhythm, every signal, every sensation that once made you feel alive. It's simply waiting, patiently, for you to remind it that life isn't over. It's still flowing through you. Reconnection isn't about chasing youth or trying to turn back time. It's about returning to the simple truth that health, confidence, and intimacy are built, not on age, but on awareness and consistency. Your body is capable of responding, rebuilding, and thriving when you care for it with respect, not shame. And the moment you begin to treat yourself as someone worth nurturing, everything changes. Because age doesn't take vitality away. Neglect does. Disuse does. Silence does. But awareness, movement, and self-care, those bring it roaring back. So tonight, take a quiet moment to thank your body for everything it's carried you through. Then promise it something small. A breath, a walk, a moment of connection. That's how restoration begins. Not through big promises, but through small, deliberate acts of respect. I'm Dr. Liana Zhou. If this message helped you see your health differently, click like, subscribe, and comment alive, because that's exactly what your body still is. Stay mindful, stay kind, and stay curious. And remember, caring for your body isn't vanity, it's wisdom. You're not fixing what's broken. You're honoring what still works and keeping it strong for years to come.